Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've prepared multiple 1v1 clips using a software called R5 Reloaded, which is a modded version of Apex. And I will be breaking these fights down into um, good habits you should have, mistakes that either I or the enemy made, and what you can do to win more of your gunfights and to put yourself in a better position. So let's start. So right there, you notice that the enemy wide swings right off the bat, and that's generally what you don't want to do. Him swinging off that cover and me jiggle peeking makes it harder for him to hit me, but a lot easier for me to hit him. So you generally don't want to do that. I reposition real quick to get another angle on him. Sliding out cover. And we both just kind of hard challenge and spray here. And when I'm taking damage, I back into cover real quick. Swing back out. Shooting with a wingman. Quick fight. I back. Even though we were both in the open, I was reloading my gun, so I back into cover. That way, I don't end up taking extra damage while I'm reloading my gun and I make myself vulnerable. He slides out, and I just hit a nasty beam with the hip fire. When you're close range, you want to rely more on hip firing than you want to do aiming, since it makes it easier to hit. Though a tip for hip firing is if you aim for a split second for like 5 or 10 bullets, they will all go in a straight line if you aim and then go switch to hip fire. So that is something that you can exploit to win more fights. Here, I was able to jiggle peek him, shoot him, back to cover, shoot him, back to cover, deal damage. I switched to a different angle to try to stay moving. And for some reason, he decides to just hard challenge me there, even though he was cracked and I wasn't. And that's why he ended up losing that fight that badly. So if you're low, you should be backing up, creating space, and trying to deal damage to your target to make the fight more fair. Don't want a hard challenge. Mess up the wall jump there. And don't try to over rely on movement there, because him doing that is what gets him killed. And you also notice how right here, when I'm reloading, once again, backing into cover, because if he pushes up, it makes it harder for him to hit me. And here he just exposed himself. Hit fire. He decides to hard challenge and make it a 50-50. But I had more health, so once again, not a good idea to do that. He should have played on his cover a little bit more. Forced me out into the open by jiggle peeking. And he would have had a lot easier time winning that. Jiggle peeking. Honestly, not really sure why that guy just stood there after that. But you want to jiggle peek. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to wide swing or like make yourself stay in one spot. Easy way to get killed. I missed like half my shots there, but I backed into cover. He didn't, and that's what gets him killed. Because he made himself way too easy to hit. Here I start losing this fight, and I'm backing up, creating space, forcing him to push me. And this makes it makes him go in a predictable area to make it a lot easier for me to hit my next shots. And he could wall bounce or do whatever. And at this point, you would have to like react to it and have good reactions and good aim. But this is what I do here. I ended up one clipping him as soon as he comes around this corner. And that's honestly how you have to play that. If someone is initially winning the fight against you, you back up, create that space, play your cover, and then you destroy them as soon as you have an opportunity to catch them out in the open. Or if they push you and swing you as hard as that guy did, and they miss your shots and you don't, you're winning that fight. There you go, I'm just doing tap strafes, doing whatever I can to avoid damage. He backs off and he doesn't really slide jump or wall jump or do anything there to avoid damage, and he just kind of walked the cover almost, and that's what gets him killed there. Here this guy's just out in the open, easy fight, nothing to really say there. Another tip that I would have for some people is doing that right there, which is trying to pace your shots. Like some people, if they start shooting at someone, they just don't let go of their trigger or their mouse at all. So they just end up spraying and missing all their shots. And that's a really bad habit to have, like not having control over when you're shooting, because you're just gonna end up missing shots and throwing a lot of fights doing that. So make sure you're able to slow down and make sure that you're going to hit your shots. Like even taking a brief moment to pause like that, that's better than just spraying your whole mag and getting them a free win. Honestly, there, me backing up into this area, that little side area is probably what made me win that fight there. But that was mostly like an aim battle right there, just who had better aim. Here, another aim battle. This guy completely leaves his cover, and I don't really know what he was doing here. This guy, once again, he's wide swinging really hard. He slides over the top trying to put pressure on me. So I hear him and I know he was going to do it because this is a very aggressive player. And it's kind of what you got to do. You kind of like feel out who you're fighting. Like if they're going to be aggressive, more passive, if they're going to have like a more campy play style. Whatever kind of play style they have, you have to adapt to it. This guy, know he's aggressive. I hear him climb up. So I wall jump around the side. So that way I can create that same space and we just trade places rather than him slide on top of me and then he's able to hit fire me on the way down when he's coming towards me, and he's trying to force a 50-50, and I don't want to fight a 50-50. I want to fight where I can use cover and be able to effectively position myself. So if someone tries to force a 50-50, you don't have to fight it if you have an opportunity to back up. Though some are unavoidable. And this right here is a 1v2 that I end up fighting when I was no-filling. And I'm going to break this fight down. Just once again show you what went right, what went wrong, what mistakes happened, what could be done better, or what tips could be learned from this. And here we go. Alright, here's just a bunch of boring looting, so I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit. I'm just at this point, I'm just trying to figure out where everyone's at. Maybe seeing about better gun, because two shotguns really isn't it with the way this meta's going. Peacekeeper definitely is, but not a Mozam. Here we go. I take some shots against this guy on the open. And here, I decide to climb up using these buildings to get the high ground. Like, even a higher story in a building's high ground. Any high ground you can get is absolutely key. It's actually something that let me win this fight. Throw a grenade, he arc snares me. And here, you can see I got that thermite. Here, I know that the first thing an Ash will do, because I've played Ash, so trust me, I already know how this finna go. When they hit you with that arc snare and they actually hit you with it, the first thing they usually do in a close range is they just slide up on you, which is exactly what this Ash does here. So I throw this thermite down, and what this thermite allows me to do is to deal damage to the Ash, slow her down, and it also blocks the line of sight from her teammate. Her teammate can't actively push this spot without taking a ton of damage. So I throw it, and she comes right there with a really janky slide. And I'm just peeking in and out with a PK there. Now, I was lagging really hard. I don't know if you saw it. So that's why I took so much damage. But tip for the PK is peek in and out of cover like that, so you can avoid taking damage while you're reloading between each shot. So right there, I end up knocking her because she didn't play cover at all, and she got way too aggressive after that arc snare. That is a mistake that I would see a lot of people making. It's just getting way too aggressive off of barely any damage put or off of hitting an ability. So I knock her. Right there, her teammate's getting ticked. You can see right down there that little armor icon. So that thermite is telling me, hey, his teammate's pushing you. He probably knows you're one shot, right? And a lot of people, another mistake I would see at this point in the fight is they would get stuck. They would try to stay in the fight and go, okay, I have to clutch this. Let me just hit him with the PK. If you're fighting someone that's pretty much full armor and full health, besides a little bit of thermite damage, you're going to lose that 100% of the time, especially on one shot. So here, I decided to reload my gun, and I decided to back up. I didn't mean to queue here, I probably shouldn't have, but luckily it doesn't cost me. I hear them sticking the res, so I get up on this door to get closer. And at this point, I heal up and I'm rushing right back in. Why? Because yes, there is one person that is full health, but there's also his teammate who just got res. And at this point, he only has 20 health maximum. So it doesn't matter what he does, he's going to lose every single time I fight him. So I want to go and fight his full health teammate, get him down, and then it's just an easy fight from there, which is what you're going to see. He arc snares the door to try to buy himself time to get a shield cell. This guy, he loses his fight, and then I'm repositioning, moving out of that spot. Because what a lot of people would do, how your enemies would generally play, if their teammate gets knocked, they tend to have a habit of rushing straight to where you killed that teammate, which is what you hear that Ash doing, which is trying to rush and start an up close fight. Really bad move from the Ash there, since we're both pretty much the same health, but she doesn't know that. For all she can know, I could be full health and she would just push into me and die instantly. Here we go. So I know that she's not in that room, and I can hear that she's somewhere in front of me. So I take a quick moment to hit a shield cell, And a lot of people don't do that. What that helps you do is it helps you get just that little bit of a health advantage there, and it gives you a slightly higher chance of winning that fight. So even though she's pretty much one shot, or at least one shot with a shield cell at most, I want to make sure that I'm going to win this fight. So I pop a shield cell, I hear her popping up, and that's the end of the fight right there. And that's really all I could say about that. If y'all learn anything, like, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. And I hope y'all have a great day.